Hey, what's up, everybody? So this is the last video in this series for spiritual health for leftists. And I think I'm gonna probably do just maybe a video every now and then under this category, but this will be the last consistent one, and then we're gonna move on to some other topics. And today we're gonna talk about loving kindness. Very, very important. And also, really the real wrap-up of this whole series will be tomorrow. So make sure to tune in for a special live stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on my YouTube channel for a special Q&A to wrap up this whole thing. So come ready with some questions, some thoughts, some reactions through this whole series. I've gotten some amazing, extremely kind comments so far throughout this series. So I appreciate you all who've left some kind comments, and I appreciate you all who found my channel through this series. So let's talk about loving kindness. Okay, loving kindness. We're going to talk about loving kindness as a concept, some philosophy and theology behind it, and then we're going to end this video by talking about a very special meditation technique called loving kindness meditation, which is one of my favorite meditation techniques. So make sure you tune in for this whole video. Now, loving kindness, love. Everybody loves love, right? And yet, in our Western culture, the way we use the word love at times could be so loosely that it sort of loses its initial power, doesn't it? It's like we talk about, I love my romantic partner. I love my friend. I love tacos. I love when I'm speeding down the highway at 95 miles per hour and no cops catch me. I love it. But I'm talking about some real, deep, powerful community type of love, not necessarily an individualistic type of love. Nah. So I'm a Christian, and I also am a leftist, and part of my whole journey of exploring and learning and growing and deconstructing and reconstructing required me leaving the evangelical tradition I grew up in, as many of you who watch this have shared with me as well. And sometimes people ask me, is there anything from your evangelical past that you still keep today as a part of your faith? And the thing that always comes to mind when people ask that is all the teachings I heard about absolute relentless grace, vulgar amounts of grace, absolute acceptance just as you are, loving you exactly where you're at, total love. We're all here for love, and all that language. Absolutely, I kept. I kind of feel like a lot of that language was taught to me when I was young, and I just kept going all the way with it. Yeah, love individually in this little group, but we should actually keep pushing further and further and further out with this whole love thing, and also care about the people all around us who are living in poverty because of the economic system we're in. It just kept going. And of course, it even went the direction of a social progressive way of seeing things, and of course, loving LGBTQ people, loving people of different faiths, and actually loving them, not just tolerating them, I often talk about my journey out of evangelicalism as they gave me these tools for spiritual growth, but I just used them to keep on growing past the ceiling that they had up to make sure you didn't go too far. I know a lot of you out there relate with that. But this radical core of love within this Christian tradition is something that still pushes me and pulls me in everything I care about. Check this out. This is in the Bible about love, and I'm sure a lot of you out there will be shocked because a lot of Christian conservatives out there definitely don't talk like this at all. Check this out. 1 John 4, verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another because love is from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Excuse me? I thought everyone who was of God had to believe this and this and this and had to believe exactly this way and make sure you tithe a little bit too. This is saying, no, anyone who loves knows God. You just gotta love. That's it. And then it goes on. Whoever does not love does not know God. That's the criteria actually here. And then it says, whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love. God is love. for sure, obviously. And then even later on, it says, God is love, and those who abide in love abide in God, and God abides in them. Not for being a Christian, not for believing all the right things, not for going to a specific church, not for whatever. It's just those who love abide in God, and God abides in them. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, for fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not reached perfection in love. We love because he first loved us. Those who say, I love God, and hate their brothers or sisters are liars. For those who do not love a brother or sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. The commandment we have from him is this: those who love God must love their brothers and sisters also. And thinking about how that has shaped so much of my life, that whole narrative, now that I'm in this space where I'm talking a lot about leftist politics and interacting with other people who care about leftist politics, I mean, this stuff is still in me. And it comes up when I start to see all the hate in these leftist conversations. And I start to think, in the same way, if you say you want a socialist revolution and yet you show contempt for your fellow comrades and for actual working class people that need to be liberated, you're a liar. Involving yourself in these leftist conversations and groups and movements and activism should come from a deep compassion. I also always come back to love when it comes to this conversation of left unity. Ooh, a pretty spicy conversation. Leftist unity. And sometimes it seems to be way more of a spicy, controversial conversation online. And then in real life, it's like, why are we arguing so much again? And as someone who approaches this conversation from the foundation of love, some of these conversations leave me thinking, hey, we should be more interested in bringing the powerless up than we are with bringing the powerful down. And I'm not ignorant. Of course, I know that part of bringing the powerless up will require the powerful coming down. But the motivation behind that should be our love and support and solidarity with the powerless, and not our hatred for the powerful. And I totally get the hatred for the powerful, but I don't think that's a good motivation. And when it comes to this conversation of leftist unity, at least at this right now point of my life, I feel like that's kind of the only distinction I really care about. Are you in this because you actually have compassion for the proletariat or not? And of course, I'm going to talk like this. I have a freaking Love Wins tattoo on me. Of course, I'm going to say this. Love wins. I got this tattoo actually inspired by the story of Jesus, where he lives a life of absolute radical love and then is killed by the state, executed on a cross in public to deter all the other minorities from standing up to the powers that be. And yet on that cross still chooses love and still chooses forgiveness and compassion and mercy. Also, all of his closest friends, his disciples, during his entire ministry said, we know this is going to lead to you being arrested and executed, and we just want to let you know we're going to follow you all the way through. We're going to get executed with you, Jesus. They said that. And then when he got arrested, they all abandoned him. They all ran away as fast as they could. And then according to this story in the Gospels, this Jesus rises from the dead and then goes back to his friends. I think any of us would then be like, all right, time for revenge. Where the hell were you? I am now gonna show my cosmic wrath on all of you who ditched me. And yet I like John's telling, where he finds them on the beach and starts barbecuing fish for them. He forgives them and loves them because he understands that the movement is so much bigger than personal offenses, and realizes this is not about me and you. This is about a larger revolution.
There are bigger things happening here than me and you. Harry, please, I've got to stop.
The bourgeoisie.
And that is how the whole thing gets started. Love wins. You can even think about it in an evolutionary sense. The tribes that chose to put others above themselves, to put the needs of the tribe above themselves, to actually take care of one another and not be individualistic and all about themselves, those are the tribes that survived. And that's how we're all here today. Love wins. And a lot of people get really uncomfortable with this language because they start to say things like, well, I'm not going to get stepped all over though. No way. And I understand that we've all been screwed over by so many people, abused by people, whether it's for some of us physically, other of us verbally and emotionally. Of course, we all have those traumatic experiences with people, and of course, some way worse than others. But I'm not saying go and love on that person who hurt you. I'm saying choosing the way of love and compassion and mercy and forgiveness doesn't make you a doormat. It actually makes you way more stronger and resilient. Because you may react and think, oh, yeah, I'm not going to be some doormat and let people step all over me. But yet, if I tell you, think of the person in your life who showed the most love toward you, you probably wouldn't think of them as a doormat. You would think of them probably as pretty powerful in your life through their love, actually loving you through and through. This was the role of the first Christian church, the community that provided an alternative to Roman imperialism by having an absolutely loving community that embraced anyone. Anyone can come in and be a part of this community, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter your status in society. And we are going to come together, have a meal, make sure everyone's bills are paid, make sure everyone who is sick is being taken care of, make sure that all the widows and orphans are taken care of. And they had a whole pool of money and property because people would provide that for the church when joining the church. That was available to the people that needed it. It was a total communist commune. And it was all rooted in love. I think that is a way better igniting force than anything. Definitely way better of an igniting force than terror. Rosa Luxemburg, oh yeah, she's right there, by the way, one of my favorite communists, wrote this essay called The Russian Revolution, where she was given some of her own critiques on the Russian Revolution. By the way, one of the things I love about Rosa Luxemburg, some of her words were used to separate communists during the Russian Revolution, to be like, it's way easier to say that everything the USSR is doing isn't real Marxism, so they're not real Marxism, pure Marxism, pure Marxism. But she critiqued Lenin and the Russian Revolution while still being like, but I still support, like, here's what you can do better, but I'm still with you, Lenin. And she was killed 2 years after the Russian Revolution started in 1919. And she wrote in the Russian Revolution, I love this quote, by the way, this is very, very foundational for what we try to do on this channel. She said, socialism in life demands a complete spiritual transformation in the masses, degraded by centuries of bourgeois class rule. Social instincts in place of egotistical ones, mass initiative in place of inertia, idealism which conquers all suffering, etc., etc. And then later she says it is ruled by terror, which demoralizes. So I feel like my role and the role of the community we're building on here is to be a part of that spiritual transformation, to help grow these values within people, that choosing love is the way to go. And if we continue to spread those values of love, actual radical love, then I think people would be way more open for whatever revolution that comes. I love the way it was put in this quote by one of Dostoevsky's characters in the Brothers Karamazov. He said, "Love all of God's creation, both the whole of it and every grain of sand. Love every leaf, every ray of God's light. Love animals, love plants, love each thing. If you love each thing, you will perceive the mystery of God in things. Once you have perceived it, you will begin tirelessly to perceive more and more of it every day, and you will come at last to love the whole world with an entire universal love. So, I want to talk about how to cultivate that universal love. So now we're going to get into this loving kindness meditation practice. Now, loving kindness meditation, and we get that word loving kindness from the original Pali word metta. Metta meditation has its roots in Buddhism. The legend goes that the Buddha taught metta meditation to a group of monks as an antidote to fear. I'm going to read the legend from this book on loving kindness from Sharon Salzberg, expert in loving kindness meditation. The legend is that he sent a group of monks off to meditate in a forest that was inhabited by tree spirits. These spirits resented the presence of the monks and tried to drive them away by appearing as ghoulish visions with awful smells and terrible shrieking noises. The tradition says that the monks became terrified and ran back to the Buddha, begging him to send them to a different forest for their practice. Instead, the Buddha replied, "I'm going to send you back to the same forest, but I will provide you with the only protection you will need." This was the first teaching of metta meditation. The Buddha encouraged the monks not only to recite the metta phrases, but to actually practice them. As these stories all seem to end so happily, so did this one. It is said that the monks went back and practiced metta so that the tree spirits became quite moved by the beauty of the loving energy filling the forest and resolved to care for and serve the monks in all ways. Such a happy, lovely story. But when you first try this type of meditation, it might not feel so lovely because of that uncomfortability I was referring to earlier. But I think that's a very necessary uncomfortability that we need to train ourselves to overcome. So continue hearing me out. Also, several scientific studies have shown that metta meditation is able to heal people tremendously, able to help people, first off, with anger and stress, which already is a huge deal, but also with chronic pain and migraines, and help alleviate some PTSD symptoms. There's a whole lot that goes down when you're able to do this for yourself and make this a regular habit. And like I've said in previous videos, this is also how we thicken the prefrontal cortex and shrinken the amygdala. And that's basically how you get enlightened. Now I'm going to go through the steps of loving kindness meditation, not exactly guide you, but you can try this out after we're done here. First off, of course, find a comfortable spot, sit down, relax, control your breath, get to a moment of peace. And this is a visualizing meditation, so it also may help for you to close your eyes, but you don't have to. And I want you to imagine a whole group of people around you, one by one. And these are the people in your life who love you and who you love very much as well. These could be family members, very close friends, very much loved ones, a circle around you. And now I want you to imagine every person in this circle around you is giving you something. You can even imagine something physically they're giving you, and they're giving you their love, and you're feeling love for yourself. Even right now, I know some people out there like, nope, I ain't about that self-love too much. Trust me, try this out. And imagine them giving you this love, wishing for you to be happy, wishing for you to be healthy, wishing for you to be at peace, wishing for you to be free from pain. And say the mantra, may I be happy, may I be at peace, may I be free from pain. And we're going to repeat this mantra in different ways, and you could add your own. It doesn't have to be these exact words. It could be, may I be safe, may I be at ease, may I be free from danger. You could get creative with it. This whole process must begin with self-love. So even when you're practicing this self-love, maybe it'll help you think of all the things that you know your loved ones love about you. So I think that may be easier for some of you out there. And then once you feel an acceptance of this, then you must practice loving kindness for these individuals around you, for your loved ones. Imagine them all there and imagine giving them this loving kindness. And then say the mantra again, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from pain. And it may help to think of each individual in this circle, offering them your loving kindness. And then, after that, imagine an even bigger circle around that circle of neutral people in your lives. The people that you don't immediately think of when I say imagine your loved ones, but are consistently in your life. And start practicing giving loving kindness to them in that larger circle, saying, once again, may you be at peace. May you be free from pain. May you be happy. Whatever your mantra is. So after doing that and visualizing, giving your loving kindness to all those individuals, then this next step is my favorite step because of how much it needs to be done, not because it fills you with happiness. But this step includes imagining another circle of your enemies. You know, the people that are very frustrating to be in relationship with, the hostile ones. You'll find some resources that give you these steps for loving kindness meditation, and some of them even skip this step, but I think it's important, especially because I come from a tradition that worships a guy that says, love your enemies. These are people who may have hurt you in the past, who may have rejected you, misunderstood you, people who you haven't maybe spoken to in a long time, and there's just a great amount of tension between you and them. And then start offering loving kindness to them as well. And also, I love this whole meditation technique as well, because it doesn't necessarily require you to feel all these emotions authentically. Just say them. Just say it. Even if you feel like, yeah, but I don't actually want to offer loving kindness to them, just say it. You're not required to fully feel it, okay? It's all part of it, okay? It's okay. And to them you say, may you be happy, may you be at peace, may you be free from pain, to each of them. And you can take your time, and after some time of that, imagine finally this larger circle around everything of all living beings. So it's like you start out with this little circle of you and your loved ones, and now imagine pretty much like a whole giant stadium around you, and practice giving loving kindness to all living beings. And say the mantra again, except say, may all beings be happy, be at peace, be free from pain. And really imagine giving out this loving kindness to everyone, to all creation. So once you do that, rest in that, contemplate on it, let it work within you. Should probably take around 15 to 20 minutes, maybe shorter or longer for whoever is trying it. And that's it. And doing this as a practice, trust me, you can start to see results. I said in the meditation video, meditation isn't something that you do at once and then you're changed, but it's something that you realize over time you have changed. And through this loving kindness meditation, you may notice, oh, I don't get as frustrated as I usually do with people. Oh, negative thoughts don't come as often as they do anymore. Oh, I am no longer holding some of the anger and revenge that I was holding before. And this builds within us more and more compassion and more loving kindness. Trust me, try this out. I keep saying trust me because I know how uncomfortable this could be for so many people out there who have been hurt by so many people. But trust me, look it up. If you don't believe me, look up the scientific studies, look up what other people say about it. I'll put some cool links in the description as well. And try it out. Just try it. And then let me know in the comments what happened. You could be angry at me if you want. You could say, I tried it and I got really mad at everyone. It's okay. It's all right. That was your experience. And also, like I said in another video in this series, I wanted to give you plenty of different practices because some of you out there will click with one practice, definitely not the other. Some of you out there will click with all of them, maybe just a couple. We gotta give you a whole bunch so you could try out a whole bunch. So that's loving kindness. That's spiritual health for leftists. Hope you enjoyed this whole series. Like I said, we're going to wrap it up tomorrow, Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Special Q&A live stream. Make sure to tune in for that. Also, subscribe for more videos like this if you're not subscribed already. I'm really excited to talk about some more stuff and Really, really got some great stuff planned. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/whoisdamon, where we talk about this stuff on YouTube, except a more freeform and interactive way. So go join us in that chat on Twitch. It's really fun. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to be there tonight too. Bunch of streams this week. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you supported me on Patreon. You get to support me. Also get some exclusive videos on there. Really fun on there too. So shout out to my patrons, Karen in Colorado, Ranger Jenny, Refined Your Scene, James Finlay, New Transcendentalist, Kristen Mouse, Rob Hutton, Jack, Jacob McCarthy, Theory Plebe, Mike Lodato, and Frank Morales. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. See you later. I love you, and love wins.